Today we are getting into Agatha All Along and the Penguin. But first, before we do that, I have something for Jack's birthday.
Whoop, whoop, Jack's birthday.
Bubble wrap, wow.
Wow.
It's like
Bubble wrap.
The 2000.
Wow.
X-Force.
X-Force.
The good
Nice.
X-Force.
Wow,
Good X-Force.
9.8, awesome.
Out of 9.8.
She's a mite.
He's a mite.
We're going to start with Agatha.
Oh.
So, what were your initial thoughts on the first two episodes?
Before going in, I was like, this might be okay. I don't even know.
Yeah,
No one
I got
seems to
sucked
talk
into the
about it.
trailers and such, so I thought there was going to be something there. And it didn't let me down.
I'd say it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, AJ said it last night. I was talking with AJ a little bit about it, and he says it's fun. And I have to agree with that. It's not all drama and it's not all comedy. It's somewhere in between, and it seems to work well. Teen, I don't know what his name is. Nobody does yet.
He's supposed to be Billy.
Yeah, him and Agatha have just a great chemistry together so far. So I kind of like that.
I actually really like the fact when she turned around and one of the witches asked, "Who is that?" And she says, "That's my pet."
That's yeah.
He would work
But
very
then-
well as a familiar.
And later on in the show, she said, "That's my Toto," or "He'll come Toto," or something like that. So
I mean, like I've been saying, this show so far is like goofy and fun and silly.
Yeah.
And I think so far my biggest gripes are like the dialogue, and maybe the show would just benefit a bit more from being like TVMA. Because they're kind of like toting the line of being like a funny, just like show where people would walk around being like, "Holy fuck," or you know, whatever. But obviously they can't go that far.
I feel like that would just ruin the tone, honestly.
Maybe
If it was like that hard,
I just feel
guess.
like if they had the freedom to just go all out with the jokes,
drop an F-bomb
Yeah.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. Catherine Hahn has never been one of my favorites. She's always been like, after a while, she becomes annoying. But
Can't even tell you anything else she's in. Aside
She's-
from Step
she's always
Brothers.
been like a
She's in
character.
Spider-Verse. She's Dr. Otto.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and she seems they maybe dialed it back a little bit. You know, I was invested from the opening when they
I mean, she
they
was
had
great
the
in this role since
yeah.
WandaVision.
yeah. I mean, they had that scene, the opening scene with the body and all this. I mean, I found that pretty interesting.
The fake like auteur.
Yeah.
You know, when you watch a superhero show, you know the superhero's powers, you know what they're capable of, this and that. This kind of leaves. Right now, everything is open-ended. Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. And I'm totally enjoying it. I thought the quality was there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love the characters. I like the difference between the characters. Right now, it's rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, to find out that after that whole opening scene and everything that has gone on in the movie, to find out that she's just been at the fence line the whole time. She's never left the
Westfield.
development. She's been at that fence line talking about this, neighbors coming across the street, and they're all playing the part just to keep her together. Is just pretty
I've been
wild.
trying to figure out what actually happened. Guy told her to go home.
Because he was just a neighbor. He wasn't
He was,
even.
he was a neighbor,
Yeah.
but coming across the
Cop.
street playing the part of her sergeant sent her home, but he
Right.
just came from across the street. You find that out later on.
Well, I was thinking like in real life, she like went over for tea or some shit.
Or like,
you
yeah,
know?
she like broke into his house.
Yeah.
and was just
Yeah.
rambling.
Yeah.
Something I thought was interesting is like Wanda's body being there, whether or not that's real or not, or it's just she's seeing that.
Because she wanted to see it.
Yeah.
You have to remember when she first walked in to the morgue, it wasn't there. Then she reset and came back, and it was there. So
Well,
maybe it's
I'm
not.
saying like when they saw it and
Oh.
then they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
she like died from like blunt force trauma being crushed. Like
Mhm.
obviously the end
Yeah.
of Doctor Strange,
Mhm.
the whatever the fuck
Right.
that was fell on her.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, Eastern European dirt samples were
Yeah.
found.
Yeah.
Because like that's in.
Mount Wundagore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on, though.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that she can't know who the kid is, the teen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like an
That
interesting
spells.
And I
spell,
thought,
yeah.
they did that well, where his mouth's so shut every time he tries to say, or he's
Even
talking
when-
about his life and she can't hear
It
it.
didn't happen when he was talking about himself, like where he was from.
No,
Yeah.
but then she couldn't hear
But
it.
she couldn't hear. She heard everything else.
Yeah.
You know, which I think was very cool.
Yeah. I really like the magic system works so far, you know, because like you were saying, it's not a traditional superhero story where
Right.
we know the powers, you know.
Right.
We have to that is like a thing with like fantasy where you have to like kind of learn the magic as it goes on, you know.
And all the other witches know her.
Yeah. Well, she had the magic. She had it
Well,
all.
She has like a past seemingly with
Yes.
Wasn't she like
4 to
the
5 of them.
top one pretty
Yeah.
much?
Yeah,
Well,
she's
she was in control of the Darkhold.
She's known as the
before
witch
Wanda.
killer, so
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the Salem 7 is coming for her. So
Yeah. I also thought the relationship, like the way that they show how Rio and Catherine or Agatha know each other was done really well. Like, they're not really trying to be subtle at all
No.
about the fact that they were probably lovers at some point.
Right.
So
Yeah, and rumors bouncing around already about who exactly she is.
well, I think she's confirmed to be like Rio something, who's just a witch from the comics.
I don't
Rio
know, 'cause
Vidal.
she's pushing that she's got more of...
Well, then also the Blackheart thing is Blackheart's like the child of Mephisto.
Right, correct, correct.
Yeah.
And we're not really sure if she's a witch yet, because she really didn't do anything. She didn't know the song, supposedly, and...
Yeah, and
No.
she just seems to have that dagger. Like, she blew the door off the hinges, but...
Oh, no. I'm talking
Nice.
about the Green Witch.
Oh, okay. I was talking about Audrey Plaza's
yeah.
character.
You mean the
Yeah,
neighbor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The
that's
neighbor.
Rio
Who?
Vidal.
The neighbor? Is
Yeah,
that-
the neighbor
Yeah.
that she went over to get, the gardener.
Lottie
Yeah.
or Dottie or something like that.
Yeah.
The older
Yeah.
woman.
Well, I just found it funny how like
Because she was
Sharon.
technically Blackheart.
she's Blackheart.
Remember, that was the last name,
Oh.
and her name is Mrs. Hart.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
Blackheart was
Sharon Hart.
Um,
No, but
Ari
when
Plaza.
she wrote it on the paper,
Mm-hmm.
it was black,
Mm.
and they had said, it was a heart, but it was black, and then she said
I
it's because
thought-
she used the black pen.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I thought what that was it's supposed to be Audrey Plaza, because earlier
You think?
Audrey Plaza goes, "My heart is black and it beats for
Right,
you." But
right.
she doesn't want Audrey Plaza's character a part of
right.
the team.
Right.
So instead, she just
She
like
just
oh,
ran across
I'll
the
just
street
fucking
and grabbed
get
that.
her.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, which I find hilarious. Just like having a random neighbor.
Yeah.
Having a party.
Yeah, but little does she know that she's probably going to be something really important
That's
and powerful,
probably,
I
yeah.
think. And probably key to what, not Wanda, what
Agatha.
Agatha needs.
I also like at
know.
the end of the second episode when like she's taking off her shoes and she's like bouncing on one foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like she's great as that character. I
Yeah.
guess.
And she brings a great energy to the scene.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's
I
a
love it.
typecast for sure, but as far as that goes, like I don't know,
I mean,
she's
the
nailing
little
it.
things. They added a lot of little things that I enjoy, like when she walked by Scarlet Witch's house and it said Evil Witch, and she had
Yeah.
a spit.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
There's a couple times where like the jokey parts of the dialogue just like
It was that, right.
don't
Didn't hit.
for me.
Right.
But other than that, really, I thought the production value, we've been talking about it for this show, has been great.
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of it is practical too,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool.
Yeah, a lot of like wire work, it seems.
Yeah, but one thing I noticed is when Agatha pulls the sign Joe Locke made, the actor, he made it personally.
We just
The only letter left remaining is W, so that might be for Wiccan, it might be for Wanda, might be for Witch. I don't know. Just interesting detail.
You don't like.
I don't like
You don't like the character.
I don't like the character
Of who?
of
Teen?
Agatha.
Oh, Agatha.
Yeah, I don't like characters that backstab
Mm-hmm.
and like.
You,
the
so
way-
you don't like the drama.
I
of
don't
that.
like the drama of that.
I get that.
It makes me so annoyed. I don't,
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's it's what she's supposed to do.
Yeah.
She may-
but
supposed to
where
just-
making
everybody
you hate
around
her.
is trying to be helpful and get to the
And then
situation,
she's just
just
like-
got to be a dick about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
think
get
even
that.
like
When
at
the-
the point with the song,
when the
she's
song
just like,
didn't
just
work.
fucking attack me.
Yeah.
Kinda. Like let me just do it.
Oh, that was great. I knew it was going to happen at some point. Because not that she was being too nice, but she was kind of accepting all these people that are just so much lower than she believes she is.
Yeah.
And when the door wasn't there right away, she just like turned on all of them like in a second.
I hate that type of character.
I don't know. I have like an affinity for like misfit teams for sure. I think they're just like, I mean, I fucking love this X-Force team.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
whichever are left of them.
I already have a prediction. She's gonna fucking kill all of them and take their powers at the end of this. I can already tell.
I don't even know like what they would set up.
Yeah, I
with
don't
her at
know.
the end.
I don't know if I feel that.
That would
I don't
be.
know if I
I
feel
have a
that.
I feel like that would be crazy because like that would just be her repeating her mistake, you know,
Yeah.
and that would
All
like
over again.
solidify her as a
Maybe-
villain, I guess. But
Maybe that's what it's going to look like, but maybe at the end she figures out that she actually needs this team.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to figure that out when the Green Witch comes around because she has no powers now, right? And we're assuming that Mrs. Hart, Sharon Hart's going to be the Green Witch
Yeah.
because, the green thumb, she's
We're
good at
thinking.
gardening,
Yeah,
all that.
we-
So,
we're
I mean, it's
thinking.
all the
Yeah.
signs are there.
What did you guys think of Nicholas Scratch, Agatha's son?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the lore of that, but I'm wondering if like
But-
she sacrificed him or he was killed.
In comic book land, it's her son who, as he got older, is a witch or a warlock, whatever. Like her, decides it's time for me to take her power. So he has his own coven, and in the comic books, she's actually the nanny to the Fantastic Four's Franklin at the time. kidnaps her and the baby and brings her back with the intent to sacrifice her. So that kind of made the Fantastic Four go up there to do their thing. But the important thing was he didn't have enough power. So he cut a deal with, in the comics, Dormammu to add to his power, which now all of a sudden in the comics included, now the Fantastic Four couldn't handle it, so they had to include Doctor Strange. So like I'm saying, it's like these little things that are going along. I'm assuming since they showed him that at some point he's going to show up.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, that's interesting because I don't know like where this is going to go still. Yeah. It seems like it can go in so many weird different little directions.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea like what the next episode is even going to be with the road.
The road.
Yeah.
Now, who thinks Wanda's going to show up? At
Honestly,
some point?
with how she's been like talking, like just in interviews and stuff, it doesn't seem like the type of stuff like, no, I'm not going to be in it, like Andrew Garfield type stuff.
Yeah.
It feels more like Cable's actor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be good, There's got to be a good role for me to do something, So
like I don't even know what her contract looks like right now because I feel like I saw something a while ago. It's like she's signed on for like 2 to 3 projects.
Yeah.
See, and I didn't watch any of that, and I'm just wondering how it goes down the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think she'll be in it though.
Yeah. Probably not more than we've already seen, or like past that level of like there's a body and that's supposed to be her.
Yeah, they didn't even show.
Yeah.
No.
It was just the hair, the red hair hanging out of the...
It was just funny the way when she saw it on the table and she said the words, the hair color, scarlet, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's
and
on.
then, what was
And
that,
then
the
the
library receipt?
Yeah.
The book that was taken out.
But the black fingers and everything else, and the dark magic.
Like I said, this part of Marvel Comics is very cool to me.
But I have to think at this point there's got to be some shocking information that comes along in this show that, just the way
Maybe
that Marvel's moving
this
along.
Opens us up to like Mephisto. Is the only thing I could see.
Yeah.
Because like I don't see Doctor Strange being in it.
No.
Right. Maybe not past a mention of like what happened at Wondagore. Maybe Wong.
I have a
shows
feeling
up.
mentions of all of these
Yeah.
characters somewhere along the road.
I feel like directly
come up.
showing this is like kind of going against the rule of like making it mandatory viewing, Like they don't want people to want to have to see the big shows, so
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. I mean,
So far, I think we're off to a good start with it,
Yeah.
though.
to have
I
this
enjoyed
much
what I watched.
Speculation where it's like, I don't even know where the story is going to go. I think is kind of a good thing.
one thing in particular I wanted to point out is the cinematography. I just feel like
Yeah.
even Loki was great, but like this is also very great,
Yeah.
I really like the shot where it's the door closes and then from the other side it opens again.
Yeah.
When Aubrey Plaza's character comes over.
Yeah. Just like a lot of good details too in this show. Like when she's having cold feet, I guess, about going into the door, but then she presses up and it's just rocks. Yeah, it's like all, I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything looks really good on this show.
Yeah, and other people were, upset. And one of the things I always say, it happened too quickly. But when she figured out that who she was, she knew right away that what she had to do. She had to move quick and get a coven going to get down this road.
I feel like it's kind of just like a repressed memory thing. Like once you know, and it like all comes crashing at you.
That's it, and you got to move fast.
The psychic reader was great.
So Patty LuPone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like that she has that crazy side too.
Right.
And what's she? 145? What did they?
450
Oh, 400.
or
That's
something,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah, and she's seen it all, and but that's even she says, don't you want to go back to the glory days? And
But I just like even how it was set up. They both sat down. They both thought she was a phony.
Yeah.
Because she was doing that.
Yeah.
And then just before they left, she
lays it down.
She turned it down.
One detail I wanted to point out is in the opening, like the first episode's intro where it's like the detective show.
right.
It's based on a Danish show, WandaVision. But
yeah,
the
yeah,
Danish part, it's because there's another detective show, The Killing, where there was like an American remake of a Danish show.
Okay.
But it's another like show where it's a female detective. So
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody else point that out.
That thing with her not being able to know the kid's name and
Yeah.
everything. She's not telling anyone else either.
no.
She's like very into trying to figure out what the hell's going on and why is it just
Why
me?
can't she figure it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what that's fully about. I mean, like, I have my speculations. It's just, something Wanda has done previously to, like, keep her children safe.
Well, it's also just like if it is Wanda, then it just like goes to show like how powerful like Wanda's spells are. That like it lasts like even after she figures it out.
Three years so far, right?
She's conceivably dead.
Could it be Wanda's son? One
Well,
of
yeah,
Wanda's
I think
sons?
that's the
Well,
theory.
I think he is Billy.
Billy Maximoff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who is Wiccan, which also raises a question: do we see Speed at some point?
So that would kind of make sense because she wouldn't want her to know because she might want to kill him.
Yeah.
So
In the comics, Tommy isn't on the team until like later, and he's like in juvie or some shit. The team being Young Avengers, but I feel like maybe not if they do it that route, where like he's not on the team till later.
Yeah, I have no idea what they would do.
that was. See, now I got chills now. What you just said, thinking about. Remember, the road gives you everything you want. Maybe Billy's taking the walk to bring his mom back.
Maybe. Yeah.
Interesting.
What I find also is that they're asking her who the kid is instead of asking him directly. That's like a respect thing. Without them even knowing, they're giving her a respect of being the hierarchy.
Yeah.
They definitely know a lot more about her.
They all seem to have a history with her.
Yeah,
aside
either a
from
history or know something.
My favorite scenes. I really enjoyed like the whole detective thing. I think though I'd have to probably go with when she's breaking the spell and we're kind of reverse engineering all the WandaVision episodes. That was pretty good.
I like the ending to episode 2, just like the whole thing of like Billy getting like chased around and everything. It felt realistic that he would act that way, I guess, and like the
What, you're talking upstairs in the house with the
it was the
Salem 7?
Yeah, the Salem 7 were also like pretty creepy, I guess.
Yeah, that actually did creep me out a little bit, especially when they split off, and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
then they did it again, and I was like, I
that
jumped
to the
again.
ending was pretty great.
And I don't like that stuff, but it scared me.
That quick little thing
Yeah.
coming down the stairs.
Oh, yeah,
I was like, ooh, I hate stuff like that.
I feel like we haven't even really. This is maybe just a toe in the water as far as the horror elements of the show.
There's one scene that was very predictable to me though. It's where the camera's set up at like it's pointing at a chair and there's 2 windows.
Yeah.
Where he sits down and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, I already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Fucking thing pops out of the
A
window.
little jump scare, yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, no, you knew that was going to happen.
yeah,
no doubt.
that was
So
very predictable.
I'm wondering what's going to happen as we get closer to Halloween. It's got to be a good one.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
So
By the way, the last 2 episodes drop on the same day as well on October 30th.
Nice.
so that's pretty
Nice.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite scene, it's going to sound weird, but when they were trying to open the door and they were singing, because, like, to me, like, usually when groups of people sing, it's, like, corny, and but it was actually pretty cool.
Yep.
The song itself was pretty
Yeah,
cool, made
I actually
sense.
didn't mind it.
You know, and they seemed like they were doing their part like they wanted to, you know, and that was very
It's
cool.
funny because that song in a different tempo was the opening song
Yeah.
of the show. You
Yeah.
know, it was pretty wild.
The song in general, just like it works for me in this show because like everything in this show so far is just like it's kind of just fun and silly
Right.
and like witches and witchcraft.
And they all know the code, and they all know, you know.
Yeah, like
And-
I'm
and we
fully
don't.
bought into like the rules and regulations of the witches stuff. Like you can't kill me; it's against the rules. You know,
Yeah.
like
Right, they
whatever
have their
that
own
means.
rules, and
Of course they do, yeah.
The one thing I didn't like in that scene though was like there was a few parts of it where like the lip syncing was just like very bad.
yeah, we really haven't seen the witch that's supposed to protect them. You know, the security guard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we haven't
Yeah.
seen what she's really capable of, or
It's a good point. Yeah, she's
I
honestly
guess going down the road, I'm
character
sure
I
we're going to
forgot
see.
about.
yeah,
probably the
I'm sure
most.
we're going to find out.
My favorite scene, it was the opening scene, the whole detective scene, and it just solidified for me when you find out the whole thing just took place in that whole cul-de-sac. It was pretty wild.
I wonder, like, clearly there's something going on with Agatha seeing like creatures of death. Like she sees the rat and she sees the
Yeah.
crow,
The wolf.
the wolf.
It makes you wonder what you're going to see on the road, what we've already seen in other shows maybe, and what we're going to see coming forward. I think it'll be interesting.
And then also I just wanted to say I really love the like the outro visuals.
Yeah.
Just like searching up like witch stuff and just like random clips of like random witch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even
stuff.
to the point
Yeah.
where they
It's
had,
good. It's
they
really good.
even had Simpsons Halloween
Yeah.
special witches and
I
such
just
like
think
that.
it's really like
you know? Yep.
self-aware and good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Interesting show. I think it's going to be a good one.
What's your favorite?
My favorite scene? It's got to be when Aubrey in her first meet, and then Aubrey's very nonchalantly looking at her, so she tells her, "So this is what you see yourself like."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's cool."
Mhm.
For some reason, that made me feel very like spooky.
Yeah, their dynamic's been great.
Very
Mhm.
cool, very cool dynamic between
Yeah.
those two.
Moving on to the Penguin.
So the way the show opens is a little bit odd. It's kind of just like a brief recap of the ending of the Batman, I
Right.
guess. And I feel like it is a little bit weirder if you didn't watch the Batman.
Mhm.
I can't
know?
picture anyone watching this show if they didn't watch the Batman.
I
guess
have to
I
know.
agree. I have to
Yeah.
agree.
It's usually like a thing.
Oh yeah, or if they did, they quickly went back to watch the Batman.
Mhm.
I
You
guess,
know,
yeah.
because it's obvious it's too strongly connected.
After
And
the
I actually
opening,
did
though,
enjoy
it,
that.
it does very quickly get into like the underworld aspects of Gotham, I guess,
Mhm.
and him killing the sun. So I guess I'll start with Colin Farrell's performance. So I haven't watched it since we did the podcast on it, but I don't remember in the Batman him doing that like walk that much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
he just didn't tilt that much from what I
Mhm.
remember.
This also takes place post the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't know if there's explanation as for why it would be more pronounced now, but aside from, maybe the clubfoot thing, he's so hilarious in this role and just like really good at it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, he's
And
embodied
again,
it.
is
It's
completely
amazing.
just like
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day. I was like, "Yeah, Colin Farrell's awesome. I can't wait for the Penguin."
Mhm.
And they're like, they were so confused why I kept saying the Penguin. I was like, "Oh, you didn't know that was Colin Farrell? Like he's again just
Unbelievable.
I did not know it
unbelievably-
was him until after the movie.
yeah,
I was a big fan of Colin Farrell all the way through, and there's stories of him in Hollywood that are legendary. But he has embodied this, and it's nothing like him. It's amazing. I mean, half of the character is the makeup. It's just amazing, and they
Unreal.
did a really good job on that alone. But his portrayal of the Penguin is far above anybody else, I think,
Yeah.
so far.
I
You know,
going back to what you said with the walk, I think that's like for a guy like me who's grown up with the comic-y penguins, and that's my only connection of him being part of my Batman universe.
Yeah.
If he didn't have that wobble where you could see people making up a nickname like, "Oh, he walks like a penguin,"
yeah.
he'd have no connection. He'd just be an ugly guy that's a mobster.
that, the nose, the whole bit.
I love also fact that like like that story that he tells of the guy that he idolizes.
Yeah.
Like he wants to be remembered, like
Yeah, that's what's
that guy,
important.
but he's like
Yeah.
just like a guy from the neighborhood type of guy,
Mm-hmm.
and like he wants to be
Yeah.
the king of his like sector.
Mhm.
He's
I
a
really love
murderer and
that.
everything else, but he does have a good heart. In
Yeah.
Yeah.
there, you know.
Yeah, he wants the respect.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I
know-
do really love, and I also think like maybe that's why I love John Turturro's Falcone,
Mhm.
because like, he was actually kind of similar in that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about that type of character, like being a Batman villain, is it's a little odd and kind of janky, but it works.
What I liked is he went through that whole speech of he gave back to people. If you needed glasses, he got you glasses. You needed a doctor. You needed food. It would appear. Blah blah. And then he kills the kid for laughing at him over that. And then he's outside, and these kids are stealing his wheels, and he's gonna kill that kid. But all of a sudden, the kid stutters as he's talking to him,
He's got
and
a
he's got that
defect.
soft
Yeah.
heart, soft. So here he is. Whatever it is this kid needs, I'm going to give it to him. You
Yeah.
know, if it's leadership to make him, if you're going to steal wheels, you got to think bigger, kid.
Yeah.
You know, you can do this.
I do like the introduction of that kid
Yeah.
and like the starter part, but
Mhm.
I do think he is like a bit of a tropey like type of character for a show like this,
A little bit. I kind of like the kid. There's something about him. But in the
Yeah.
beginning, yes, it was that trope thing where. But I think that the stutter helps it a little bit along. That this kid's shitting himself, but he's trying to hold it together.
Mhm.
You know, and
I like how he
think does it.
laughs when the song plays in
Yeah.
the radio. Yeah.
Yeah, well, working 9 to 5. So he's a Dolly Parton fan.
And this is probably like the most humanized the Penguin has ever been for me,
Yeah,
which is
yeah. I mean, they showed even
just like an
yeah.
interesting character
Yeah.
to give like a life to.
Yeah.
Well, we've been in the Penguin's bedroom.
Yeah.
We've seen him at his worst.
One more part about Colin Farrell. There are some parts where it kind of just sounds like a bad Tony Soprano impression.
It-
I
yeah.
suppose.
I would.
You could take this and if this was the mob war in The Sopranos, you'd
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
Go
of
with
it
it.
did seem to, especially when he goes to visit his mom and all that. It's sort of paralleled
Yeah.
some of the.
Gives it the next.
No, no,
Soprano
it
stuff.
definitely does
Yeah.
feel
You know, yeah.
Sopranos.
But-
Mhm.
I guess you could like bullshit something about like, oh, he's put it in on, to make him sound more like a mobster,
Mhm. Hey, he is a mobster, though.
I know, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So he's a mobster in, a fake New York town.
Yeah, New
So-
Jersey.
New Jersey, really, but
I
yes.
like that when he tells the kid to get in his car, and the kid's like, "Really? You let me drive?" After I tried to, he gets in, and while he's driving, he's just sitting there staring at him. I was laughing the whole time. I don't know why.
Yeah, even just like the conversation with the air freshener.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
But then later on,
You like
he
it?
takes the air freshener and stabs the guy.
Yeah.
So
Aqua Paradise.
was it a real air freshener or was it just a knife then?
No, it was an air
It was
freshener,
an
but it
air
had these
freshener.
spikes that go into the
Okay.
Vents.
the vents, and you take it out and use it as a weapon. I had one of my cars.
I really like how he lost that fight at the end then
Mhm.
too, and just got caught.
Yeah. They played that part well, and but holy crap, when they kept
Oh.
pulling that cable on his arm,
Oh,
I was like, I could feel that.
oh,
I could feel that.
his arm was about to
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
get off.
So
Speaking
he's
of
a
that,
prize, right?
Yeah.
My second prize in the show
Mm-hmm.
is the daughter.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Sophia
she's
Falcone
she's
is great.
she's
Oh,
scary.
She's
My
scary.
She's sly like a fox. That one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
my
forget
God.
The hangman.
actor's name, but
Mhm.
she
Christian Melody.
Yes, she
Yeah.
was the first wife in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Mhm.
I think she was in The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure she was
She's
in The
had
Sopranos.
bit pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if
She's
you
been in
look
like a lot of
all over
comedy
the
movies
place.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was scary in this.
Her eyes
Oh
are fucking
my
insane.
God.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you could see the crazy in her eyes
Yep.
when she's like
Yeah.
asking him like, "Oh, maybe I am just crazy, right? Tell me it's all in my head."
It's
Like,
just
her
the wide.
eyes go fucking blank.
Yeah.
It's
Really, actually
I-
terrifying.
When she first walked in and he was sitting at the table having a count, and he stands up and he's like, "Hi, Sophia." And
Yeah.
Sophia, yeah.
Sophia, I thought you were still,
in,
and
yeah.
she's like, yeah, Arkham? No, I've been rehabilitated. And she smiles, and then you've seen his face like,
Oh, we're in trouble.
I said, boy, this is going to be a
Yeah.
good relationship.
Yeah, you
here.
talk about characters with a past.
I like how a lot of the acting in this show are just like representations of characters. It isn't overbearing at all, but like you
It's
can definitely
really
just
getting the
tell
job done.
something is like going
Yeah.
on
Right.
with the
Yeah.
character. Like even the mom of
Mhm.
the penguin,
Yeah.
like she probably has dementia or
Right.
something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
She was incredible.
Yeah, she was good,
just
too.
What a great character.
She did everything in that scene when she first saw the friend at the door.
Yeah.
She did everything and just stopped short of dropping the N bomb there.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And you could just feel it because that's what,
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
racist New Jersey
yeah,
mom.
yeah,
Yeah.
Italian mom,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I even like when her and the penguin are talking, and it's like it's like a shot focusing on Victor,
Mhm.
and just like the background audio is just like, and it just like reminds me of like when we would go to grandma's house or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even like know really like what to say about her character. It just like it makes sense because like it's like of course this is why he's the way he is.
Mhm.
You know, like she would never let him be weak.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That was such a beautiful scene.
Yeah.
She's like, "Why'd
and
you
it's,
do
it's
it?"
so funny because like there's like things in history where it's like funny enough. Like I've heard Mike Tyson talk about this where it's like all the greatest conquerors were all like mama's boys.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So like right there is just like another
Yeah.
example of like everything he wants to do is to like please his mom.
But she gave him everything he needed to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without that, he would have been always pushed around, made fun of,
Mhm.
you know. And
A bit of like a Napoleon type of character.
Yeah, but that was such a cool scene. She's like, "Why'd you do it?" And he
Yeah.
tells her like, "Cause he laughed at me."
Yeah.
And out of impulse, she's like, "That wasn't impulse. You did it because you knew what you were doing."
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Yeah, but he knew it was a mistake when he said shit.
Yeah.
no,
Because
what-
now I gotta hide
Oh,
all
right.
this.
now, what the fuck?
What a
Yeah.
great title drop. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and then just like the penguin.
Penguin. That was also just a good scene where he's taking the abuse from this fucker the whole time, and it just hits to a point where he's like, "All right, you want to laugh? Go ahead."
Yeah.
Very good scene.
And even just like the whole thing with the ring, the way that comes back into play with
Yeah.
Maroney.
Right?
Oh,
I said
great.
that was
Beautiful.
a perfect setup.
Yeah.
He's so smart with the way he did that.
I didn't
yeah.
see it.
I
either.
really
Even
like
just-
how the whole pilot is just like one plan in action.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
But I like the way that there was that little twist. The kid put the body. He was only supposed to put the ring and the
And
finger
the head.
Yeah.
and,
right.
and the head. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And he put the whole body,
Yeah.
missing the finger and the
Right.
ring.
I like
Yeah.
his
I thought that was
whole
great.
like explanation for
Yeah.
that too. Like, where do I cut the
Yeah.
spine or?
Larynx.
Yeah.
I tried to cut his
Spine
neck,
and-
but
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Their dynamic is great so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
I don't think it ends well, honestly.
Well, I don't think so
I
either.
don't think this is gonna. Yeah.
But so far, I am enjoying
Mhm.
like being along for the ride of whatever
Same.
this is.
I really like how there was like 3 moments where like Penguin was gonna kill him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know.
We're not meant to like this character by the end of this show, most
Mhm.
likely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know.
No.
But that whole scene when they're putting Falcone's transferring from one car to the other and does not leave the trunk open. He's just
Oh,
nonchalant about it because this
Oh.
is I know what I got to do. You know what I got to
Mhm.
do. I can't have you here, kid.
Yeah,
Right,
there's a
turn around and
beautiful
look at the
sunset.
sunrise.
Yeah. Look at the sunrise. No.
Yeah. But
But
even
the
like
kid's been on the
giving him
streets.
cigar, like in
That
that
was-
moment,
yeah.
is just like another thing where it's like,
Mhm.
this is the guy I want to be. you
Yeah.
know, where I just
Mhm.
give to people.
Yeah, what they want.
I'm going to kill him, but
Fair.
at least he can't say anything bad about me.
Yeah.
I was nice to him before I killed him.
Yeah.
Did you happen to notice Burgess jewelry?
I did. Yes,
I thought
did.
that was a
notice
nice nod
So,
to
and
Burgess Meredith.
And I wanted to say a couple of those little subtle things to make it the Penguin. He had the umbrella.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, the purple car, that's one right. But he got out of that car when he got all dressed up to go do what he had to do, and he had on the purple jacket.
Mhm.
I said, "This is the Penguin.
Very
this is
cool.
happening."
Actually, plum.
Plum.
Yeah,
That's right.
plum.
It's not so much purple as it is plum.
But I
Yeah.
thought that was sweet to have Burgess jewelers.
Yeah.
Burgess Meredith being
Mhm.
the first Penguin.
And still one of the greatest. I remember as a kid acting like him and walking like that, doing the whole thing.
So
Yeah.
I thought some of the VFX in this show was bad. And it's not like anything that's
Yeah.
like directly in your face.
Mhm.
I don't think
Some
there
of
are
the
any
car-
VFX.
Cars were-
Oh, is that?
Like the car going through the rain definitely had a bit of like a video gamey look at times.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I'd just say like a lot of stuff like on the peripheral, just like
Mhm.
people on buildings just looked weird. It
Mhm.
kind of reminds me of like The Walking Dead, where just like the big shots kind of look weird at points.
Right.
What do you guys think about the fact that Matt Reeves made the decision to change Cobblepot's last name just to Cobb?
Cobb.
I don't really care, honestly. It doesn't
Yeah,
impact
Yeah.
anything.
I just think it's like we're almost like repeating history here, where it's like, what do you want? Yellow spandex? Like at some point, we just gotta accept that these are fucking comic book characters.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
I do love the grounded aspects of the Batman so far, and I love how real, the underground city is.
You should make a
Truthfully.
500-word tweet about it.
I will. I'll buy Twitter Premium.
That's just like what it feels like to me. Like, like you could talk about how it's like symbolic or whatever, but I don't really care that much.
So nobody mentioned Clancy Brown.
Mm-hmm. I mentioned him slightly, but not
Yeah.
by name, I guess.
I like the fact. I just wonder how coming along is he going to be in it more and more.
Yeah, well, I was
ruling
also
from jail.
thinking, and I guess I won't talk about this too much, but Mark Strong is the new Falcone actor,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting.
Yes.
Because I wonder if we're gonna get like flashbacks.
I have to imagine I think on the TV when they're showing Falcone, it's not John Turturro.
Yeah.
Mark Strong.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't think they would get him for just that.
Yeah, no, I doubt that. So yeah, there'll probably be flashbacks at some point.
Mhm.
Didn't the Penguin say he put the Maroney family
Well,
back
yeah,
in
back
play?
in
I was gonna
play,
mention
yeah,
that. He's like, well,
yeah.
I put the Maronis back on the map, and if he
Mhm.
doesn't like that, well, then fuck him. I don't need anyone.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, just the plan in general, I thought was like great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just Maroney's telling him to his face, like, I hate, a two-timer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the exact thing that the Penguin does is just fuck over both families.
Yeah,
by two-timing
right,
both
boom.
of them.
And clear himself.
Covers
Yeah.
his ass and
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's such a
Mm-hmm.
Sophia's
well
brutal.
executed
Yeah,
plan.
but
I
it
love
makes
her.
you wonder what Sophia's next move is now against the Maronis.
You have to imagine he just keeps doing this and partners up with both of them and backstabs
Double
both of
agent.
them at
Yeah.
some
Mhm.
point.
I could see that.
And then
happening.
takes power.
like
I mean,
Agatha.
Like Agatha.
Yeah, two similar characters.
Mhm.
in a
Very
way,
similar.
actually.
There are like a lot of just random similar details in the show.
Mhm.
Like the whole you were saying Penguin looking at the driver of the car.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like same thing happened in Agatha.
This is true.
So it's funny.
Yeah.
And they both can't understand what the other's saying.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. My favorite scene is like after like cleaning up, killing Falcone. Just like fucking dropping him down
Yeah.
the steps.
And so,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm
He's
not
got so
carrying
fucking
this.
tired of it.
I'm not fucking carrying this down the
He
steps. That was
looked at-
funny.
You could almost hear him thinking like,
Yeah.
"Oh fuck."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like how it leads into the next like Victor, I guess,
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
pretty
Also,
great.
for me, it's just like another scene where it's like, this is just like great characterization while being
Mhm.
pretty subtle about showing you who this guy is. You know.
Yeah.
For me, I'd say probably the stuff with the mom. I just thought
That was
she
Th-
was
those-
such
those
a
were good
great
scenes.
Such a good
performance.
And that's a powerful scene because he's never brought anybody there. This kid knows exactly how to get to that house. And going to your thing that this kid's not going to last long, I have a feeling it's going to have something to do with that if he doesn't.
Yeah, it's a good
You know,
foreshadowing moment,
because
probably.
if anything
She's
is going to
gonna
get that
convince
kid
him.
whacked, it's
It's
going
the
to be
mom.
trying to screw with the mom.
Yeah.
You know. But favorite scenes, my favorite scene is probably a little surprising, but it's when he was being interrogated and tortured, and that whole dialogue between him and Sophia. She was just cold there,
Even when
and-
like he was like, "No, that guy's lying," and then she
Yeah.
just fucking killed.
and then
that
she just
guy.
killed him, and he knew that was going to happen,
Yeah.
and she knew. He knew that was going to happen. You know, you don't care about anybody's life. This kid, whatever, and it was just a
Yeah.
kid who was just trying to steal his wheels. They just
Yeah.
wanted information and grabbed them.
I
You
do
know?
think it's interesting though. Like, why would she even? Is she actually taking his word in that moment at any
No,
point?
No.
No,
no, I
she's-
think
she's
she's
still
just trying to
crazy.
shock him. I don't care about any of you. I'm going to kill you all.
Okay, so then I'm just trying to piece together like she's like, I've always seen you as more than everyone else sees you as.
Yes.
At the end of the lunch,
I think they had, as kids, had something.
maybe. Yeah.
Something tells me that. There's a past between those two.
I didn't think she meant that as a compliment. I think she kind of meant that as
She's like, I have you.
my
figured
father
out.
seen you as the good,
Yeah.
loyal soldier.
But I know that you would fuck
I've
anybody
seen
to do
you
it.
right.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you're more than capable of fucking us over.
Yeah.
And my favorite scene is actually her introduction when she walked in the room, because to me that was the
The room definitely got cold.
best
Yeah.
showing of fucking crazy,
Mm-hmm.
batshit crazy without being batshit crazy.
And
I mean, I
having
just
power.
looked at her walk in, and then between her, I've been rehabilitated, and the look on Penguin's face after she said it, like him sitting back down, like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But also that moment embodied the power that she actually has in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just know that like the Falcone family like pulled strings at Arkham.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we haven't seen any of her. I know the trailers show like her in
Mm-hmm.
prison. I can only imagine what the hell she did.
Well, do we know how long she was there at all? Like, what do we?
I'm sure we're gonna find out.
No, but they said her nickname was the Killer.
No, the
Hangman.
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 The hangman.
So story/plot. I like the concept of the first Penguin more. Just like being a whole like plan in motion part. I'll have to give the point there to Penguin. Just because even like Agatha, it was kind of just like two separate episodes, literally.
Mhm.
And I feel like they could have made it into one, and that's just like a pacing thing, I guess, because they didn't want a 70-minute
Right.
episode like
Mhm.
Penguin.
Yeah,
So-
I like the fact that HBO is willing to do shit like this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think on the whole, the Penguin episodes are going to be longer than
Mhm.
the
Right.
Agatha
Yeah.
ones. I think the shortest Penguin episode is like 45 minutes or something. For me, it's like in a Breaking Bad episode or something where it's like, that's TV.
Mhm.
I don't love the idea of like these 6 to 8 episode, 30-minute things.
Well, I mean, like the way Disney Plus does it is like you click on the thing and it says like 45 minutes, and then like at the end
It's
like
15 minutes of
1/3 of it
Credits,
is like credits.
Yeah.
you know?
yeah, and all over the world.
Yeah.
I hope that the Penguin runs is like one straight movie, just broken up into 8 scenes. Where it doesn't. Now it's something different. I just
don't
hope
know,
it
'cause
just
that's
runs
like
straight
kind of the
through.
Problem with most Marvel shows,
Mhm.
where it's just like, oh, this is just a movie, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, especially Echo. I mean, Echo.
Yeah. I mean, that is just like pretty much 3 hours. If you
Mhm.
think about it.
I mean, that could have been like a special. In my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. There's a lot of silly filler in that.
So we all think Penguin has better plot
Uh,
and
it's
story.
very close for me.
Yeah, I'm
Honestly.
looking at it as just two different
It's hard for me to.
genres,
Yeah.
Yeah, one's more comedy, one's drama.
Yeah,
Strict
it's like watching
drama.
The Sopranos and
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Star Trek or something.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you compare?
Yeah. I probably would edge it to the Penguin in this one. That sounds so horrible. Edge it to the Penguin.
I look forward to watching them both. I can't say I don't.
Yeah.
I'm invested in both right now.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd probably give the point to the Penguin here, but Agatha's not far off in my
Mhm.
opinion.
So-
I'd edge to both.
Onto characters. I like the characters more in the Penguin, but
Mhm.
I feel like I have to give it to Agatha just because of the representation,
Yeah.
Because I do feel like in Penguin it was just a little bit more straightforward,
I think the characterization in the Penguin is so seamless and subtle. Maybe isn't the right word, but it's just more where it's like they're almost like it's so well written, like they're not even trying
Mhm.
to like force feed you like this is what this guy's like. It's just he is,
Mhm.
Where Agatha is a little more like again like goofy and silly, where it's like this person's fucking crazy
Yeah.
type of.
I feel like it's kind of the point with
yeah,
Agatha though.
Again though, like
Like,
know
it's
why I said
both
again, though,
intentional.
I
Yeah.
see Agatha right now as an ensemble,
Mhm.
and Penguin more of him and maybe Sophia as
Yeah.
you know, people I've learned the most about.
Yeah.
You know, everyone
well,
else.
I'd say like even though he was around for 5 minutes, I feel like I know exactly who like the brother is. You know.
yeah, and then they killed him off.
Yeah.
And, but like, I still don't know the exact structure of the family. Like the other,
Yeah,
the
that's
guy
a good
and the
point.
bodyguard, and I
Yeah.
don't know where they stand with everyone
Yeah,
else.
but with that said, I think that their characterization is almost expected. You know, where in Agatha they can play with it a little bit, just like Patty LuPone's character.
Right.
Okay, she's clairvoyant, this and that, but then she's also crazy.
She's goofy,
you know, where
yeah.
they go off on tangents on some of these characters, where there's a little difference to their character. It's not just, oh, they're a mobster and this is what that mobster does. You know, he's an enforcer, he's this, he's that. You know, even the second in command, that's what he's going to do. He's just going to flex a little muscle, be the second in
It's
command.
also a weird comparison overall because of how grounded the Penguin is
Mhm.
and just how fucking honestly, well, not in a bad way, but ridiculous Agatha is, I guess, or fantastical Agatha
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
That whole show could be flamboyant,
Yeah.
you know, and
I
get away
think,
with
you know,
it.
they're both trending
Mhm.
directly up for me for
Yeah.
different and the same reasons.
Mhm.
I would give it to Penguin.
I'd probably tend towards Penguin myself, just because I mean some of that storyline is a little bit more appealing to me. Where I think that Agatha can go, you know, either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to lean to the Penguin.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the simple, we have so much more information about what seems to be the two main characters, as opposed to Agatha, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to find out about
Who's on the road?
the interaction about, yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably 2-0 Penguin as well, but again, like Agatha is not far behind by any means.
No, I'm interested in what they are going to encounter on the road
Yeah.
and who makes it to the end and who doesn't.
Yeah, I wonder if the whole. I doubt it, but it would be interesting if the whole show is like on the road. Yeah, but I feel like that.
I don't
isn't-
know if it's going to be.
That's more of like a short story type
Yeah.
of thing. So cinematography, I just prefer the cinematography in Agatha, plain and simple.
I
You know,
agree.
I feel like there was even just like weird cuts and stuff
In
in
the Penguin, they use like that blurry focus a lot. Where it's just like,
Yeah.
you know, one thing is so hyper focused and everything around it is just like, I'm fucking dizzy.
I feel like that also made the like weird CGI that I was talking about worse. You know, so
Yeah, Agatha, I probably give the advantage to Zach.
Same here.
Yeah, no, agreed.
And probably overall production value as well. I would, you know, if that's two things right there, I have Penguin and Agatha tied, I guess.
I've always been confused about, you know, they said the flooding hurt the poorer districts, and yet the rich people's homes. How far apart are they?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Well-
when you see a mansion that size, and you say to yourself, "Was that like
It's like-
I
5
guess it's
hours
like
outside
a
of?"
Staten Island.
It's like a suburb
type
of
thing,
mansions,
you
too.
know?
Yeah, right, exactly. They showed
Yeah.
that little picture of, but
Writing/dialogue.
For me, the Penguin.
Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for the reasons that AJ said, that they're seemingly held back in Agatha
Yeah.
for
it's
obvious
a lot
reasons.
more subtle in
Yeah.
Penguin,
Yeah.
I'd say though.
Though with that said, in Agatha, you saw her ass. I mean, you know,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they're,
So
and
they're
they
definitely
do
pushing the
curse a
envelope.
bit, not like, you know,
Yeah, they do curse.
straight up like F-bombs or anything.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're pushing it as far as they can. For sure. There's even like parts where it's just so darkly funny, like the dialogue. I'm trying to think of like a specific moment, but as we were watching it, there were multiple parts where I was just like giggling at shit that Colin Farrell was saying.
Music. So for this is honestly a tie, just because like the music in both shows isn't just used for a good song. It's like
No.
used to like bring the character forward.
Yes,
You know?
most certainly. And I think in both they did a great job.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to edge towards Agatha on that.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Agatha wins this one.
Yeah, I think it's more front and center in Agatha.
Yeah.
But I would agree that both are. You know,
Yeah. But at
very
the end of the
well done.
first episode, when they twanged to Season of the Witch, I was like, yeah, they got this.
Yeah.
You know, it just went perfectly into that, and I fell for it. So
I don't know. Like DC announced this whole fucking thing of like all the new shit they're doing, and Marvel immediately was like, "Oh, we sucked last quarter. Let's just turn everything up to 10, I guess."
Yeah.
Time to cook.
I guess we kind of already talked about this, but production design and visual effects. You said Penguin?
Agatha.
Oh, yeah,
or-
Agatha. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, Agatha more
Yeah,
so.
Agatha.
yeah,
Penguin wasn't bad though. I mean, there's no loser here
Yeah.
No.
for me.
I also think it's maybe more impressive though in Agatha. Even just like the clubfoot and the Penguin though is like
Yeah.
Yeah.
very horrible. to
His
look at,
makeup
man.
is
his
like
makeup
yeah.
is
one
Yeah.
thing that's like
Yeah.
more impressive at all parts.
Yeah,
You know?
I do agree.
Yeah, but I do just think everything else is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And it's almost like an issue of how grounded it is, where it's like, I don't know, there's nothing almost fun about the VFX and production there, aside from his makeup, which is,
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
I'm interested in seeing his character build. I want to see if there's going to be stuff in the umbrella, like the traditional Penguin. I
It would
want
be
to
funny
see
because like
if he kills somebody with that. I know we're on the right road.
I feel like he had to have something like planned with that freshener,
Mhm.
just because of how
Yeah.
sharp it was.
Mhm.
You know? Rewatchability, I'll give it to the Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
I
so.
would agree.
Probably,
I don't know. I had fun with
Mhm.
Agatha.
I think if Agatha was one big episode, I probably would have given it to Agatha.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
Yeah.
some differences in how it's paced. But again, yeah, I had a ton of fun with
Mhm.
Agatha. And I'm just honestly very excited for both.
Mhm.
Theme/message, I'm gonna give that to the Penguin. I just feel like it, it's just a more prestige TV, so of course it's gonna have it.
Yeah. Agatha and the Penguin are both allies. The part where he walks past the transgender.
I don't
Mhm.
remember.
It's funny.
Oh yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
friends with them. They
Yeah.
know him, and he says hello, ladies.
Well, I mean,
so
clearly
he's into it.
there's just some sort of thing about disability and minority
Mhm.
going on in this
True.
show, representation.
You like
Big
what you
time.
see, baby?
And even just a hint of sex work positivity, I guess.
Yeah.
I just feel like it wasn't really the point that Agatha was going for. They didn't really care about giving a message. I guess
I just think it's so interwoven into the heartbeat of the show, almost, where it's you don't have to give
Yeah.
the message. The whole show is representation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just individual
power?
episodes. I feel like Penguin will probably be better at that, just based off how HBO shows usually work.
Yeah.
So.
I also think there's a deeper layer of just if you want to dive into family trauma and mother-son relationship, even the shit I was talking about with the Conquerors, mothers, boys,
Mhm.
you could dive into all that.
Acting, I'll give it to Penguin, just because of the scene in the mom's house alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd probably give it to Penguin, although no one bad in Agatha.
Mhm.
No.
I
Yeah.
think Catherine Hahn again crushing it in this role.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen any meaningful, put your heart out there scenes in Agatha yet.
No.
This is basically still
Kind of have
building.
tiptoed
Yeah.
around
Right.
it a bit,
Yeah.
but really
Yeah.
haven't got there.
Nothing.
Colin
really.
Farrell's been a great actor his whole career, but I think this is his swan song.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's he's become this
Yeah,
character.
they could win for best drama series.
Oh,
Yeah, oh yeah,
100%.
and
Yeah.
best makeup, and they got
Yeah.
a lot of stuff they can
Oh,
win
yeah.
for at this series. And I think we're going to see it clean up.
Last one, originality. I'll give it to Agatha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Agatha as well on these first two. I mean, just opening from that opening scene to where we ended up in this show,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of different ways through. It was pretty wild. I mean, that whole way through, is she going to be, are we going to see a detective figure out her own story at the end? But it actually went pretty quick. But
Yeah.
in that first episode, I thought that's what it was going to be. She was going to be a detective, and what she's chasing was basically her own destiny.
Jack and I were talking, and just there's a certain uniqueness to the mind fuckery
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
aspects of the show.
Yeah.
I guess for my favorite episode in the first scene, it would probably be the interrogation and just how it wraps up.
Yeah.
Because it's just whoa, something's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that scene with Agatha when she throws the pictures down in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who this is?
Yeah.
And he
It's like
says,
flowers.
pictures of the
Oh
lawn.
yeah, I just realized
flowers.
it's random flowers.
And
'cause
then
it's-
she keeps looking
Yeah.
at what used to be the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the two-way mirror, and it's a picture, right?
Yeah,
You know?
it's just like a painting.
Yeah, so I'm like, whoa. And then
It
he
was starting to unravel.
things started
Because
to...
now she's in a house. Now this isn't. I'm not in an interrogation room.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the Penguin gets 30 votes and Agatha gets 20 votes. So I guess we like Penguin more.
I do think I
Yeah.
like the
Yeah, but I think
Penguin
it's a
more.
short 10 votes
Yeah,
because
I
they're
know.
both, again, as going on what Nick said, they're two totally different things, but they're both entertaining and both engrossing, and I look forward to watching them both.
They
So
get
far.
the feelings out of you that they're supposed to.
Yeah.
That dark, gritty...
Yeah, and I'm longing
mob
for
thing,
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing it well.
as opposed to the, all right, the witchery and the supernatural that's
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah.
So,
So far, they're both 8-ish, I'd say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
8.5, no doubt
Mhm.
on
Yeah.
both. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe
Exactly.
Agatha 7.5. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
probably go 7.5 Agatha, and then
Yeah,
8,
see?
8.5.
I'm
Yeah.
sticking with my 8,
I'll
8.5
stick with
on it just because of how I like the way that it made the transition from WandaVision to now Agatha. Like, here she was totally still living in WandaVision world, even made it up on her own in her own head and made it worse. So this is the way you see yourself, and then breaking out of that. Now it's Agatha. Now it's on.
Yeah.
So
I kind of think I'm going to give it to Agatha because I think that show has the greater potential right now, whereas the Penguin is going to be great, but it's going to be how dark can we get with this character?
I think we're going to see some darkness.
Yeah, the character.
I think that is like it lends itself to the uniqueness of Agatha, where it's like this has a chance to be something just totally different,
Right.
and really special.
Yep.
Where the Penguin's like this could be another really great crime drama.
Right. Correct. Yeah, we know where it's going, and
that's
it's
not
just
a bad
matter
thing.
of right.
It's just Agatha, has a chance to be something just incredibly unique
that we haven't seen.
In Penguin, that second in command guy, I think he's whacked off in the next 2 episodes possibly. But I think it's going to be one of these things where the Penguin sets it up to happen.
I have a feeling that Sophia probably kills him.
Yeah.
Penguin will get in her head and be like, yeah, he's trying to fuck you
That'd
up.
be interesting. Yeah, if just like Penguin gets power through Sophia. Yeah, I could see that.
She said it the best. Everyone always underestimates you.
And I believe
Although
that.
it was annoying. Why the fuck was she eating like that? I know
She's
she was
been
in prison.
how
but it
long
wasn't-
was she out?
What did they release her 8 o'clock in the morning? She didn't eat for like 5 days.
She apologized, though.
Well, she probably has been eating off of trays for fucking
but
10
still,
years.
oh, that annoys. That when I see it,
And they
like,
ordered,
I can't
like,
take
15
people chewing on
martinis.
film and.
Yeah. All right, so that was our reviews of the first few episodes of Agatha and the Penguin. Next week we're gonna be doing Sky High, so better get to class.
Bye.
Bye. We'll see you
Bye-bye.
next episode.
Bye-bye.
Sky High.
Wait a minute.